Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good evening to Doctor. We are from Group 6. Today we would like to discuss how children learn about measuring from research findings. Okay, let me introduce my group members. First, my name is Noorina Shafika binti Razali. Next, Tengku Alia Syairah binti Tengku Salihuddin, Siti Syazatul Husna Fatihah binti Sapri, Sharfa Akila binti Mata Elias Maseh, and Intan Dawarna binti Ismail. Okay, first introduction. Based on Piaget, studies showed children's acquisition of concepts of measurement, in particular length, area, and also volume. Based on Piaget's theories, this subtopic more focus on the concrete operational stage that includes children within 7 to 11 years old. At this stage, the child can use operation like a set of logical rules that they can conserve quantities, realize that people see the world in a different way, and also they can demonstrate improvement in inclusion tasks. However, children also face different understand than adults diffi- due to they have difficulties with abstract thinking. So children can and cannot to understand this aspect fully. However, at this stage, children have major characteristic and developmental changes. Uh, First, during this stage, children start to begin to think logically about concrete events. They also can understand the concept of conservation, which is they can understand that although things may change in appearance, certain properties remain the same. So, young children should master these two key aspects. First, conservation, and second, transitivity. All both key aspects will explain by my friends later. Okay, I will pass it to Intan.
So, how children learn about measure? The first concept, which is conservation. In early childhood education, conservation is the ability to understand that an object quantity or qualities remain the same even if its appearance change. It's a logical thinking skill that part of Swiss psychologist Jean Piaget theory of cognitive development. So, the concept of conservation is that while one attribute of an object may be changed, another may stay the same. So, when considering latch, a piece of string is the same latch whether stretched out or bent round. Another example, which is if two pieces of plasticine of identical weight are taken and one is flattened out, its weight doesn't change. Two containers can have the same capacity even if they are different shapes. So this made children find it very difficult to conserve measures before the age of about 7 or 2 years old and will be deceived by appearance. And this made thinking that measure will change if the shape has changed, even if they are shown that it is still the same.
Understanding of these measures will depend on the children's experience, but they will usually understand conservation of. The first one is length at between 6.5 and 7 years. Second one is area at above 7 to 7.5. Third one is volume at about 8.5 to 9. The fourth one is capacity at about 7, and the last one is weight at about 9 or 10.
You think they have the same? Okay. Now we're going to pour this juice into this glass. Now, do you think that this glass has more juice, this glass has more juice, or do you think that they have the same amount?
That one has more.
This one has more, and why do you think that this one has more?
Because it's taller.
So first we're going to look at these two cups right here. Do you think there's the same amount of juice in this glass as there is in that glass?
They're even.
They're even? Okay. So we're going to take the juice from this glass and pour it into this one right here.
Okay.
Okay, so now we're going to look at this glass and that one. So do you think that there's more juice in this glass, more juice in this glass, or do you think that they have the same amount?
Same amount.
Okay, why do you think that they have the same amount?
Just because this is skinny doesn't mean it's not the same amount. It has the same amount of juice in it, but
Okay, next we move on to transitivity. So, transitivity helps children use a measuring tools, especially a ruler, to compare objects indirectly. For example, if first doll is measured with a length of 20 centimeters on the ruler, and then the second doll is measured with a length of 20 centimeters on the ruler, then we can conclude that if both dolls are measured as a 20 centimeter on the ruler, the two dolls are the same size. So the importance of transitivities are it can introduce the idea of using a standard tools, especially a ruler, to make indirect comparisons. And the second, it can help a foundation for understanding measurement and equivalence.
Using a ruler to measure length. Here we will learn to measure length using a ruler. Step 1. Place a 15 centimeter ruler on a table. Step 2. Place the object whose length has to be measured above the scale such that its one end coincides with the 0 mark of the ruler. Step 3. Make a note of the number on the ruler where the other end of the object ends. For example, one end of the crayon is at 0. The other end of the crayon is at 2. Using a ruler to measure length. Here we will learn to measure length using a ruler.
Definition of transitivity. Transitivity is a logical reasoning skill where children understand that two objects can be compared indirectly using a third object. For example, if one doll is 20 cm long on a ruler and the second doll is also 20 cm on the same ruler, then both dolls must be the same size. Piaget believed that children should only be taught measuring once they understand transitivity and conservation. However, research has shown otherwise. Studies by Schiff and others reveal that children can sometimes use transitivity in specific situations earlier than expected. Moreover, Simon and College found that the act of measuring itself helps children develop conservation skill. Therefore, teaching children how to measure at an earlier stage not only accelerates their learning, but also helps them grasp these fundamental concepts more effectively.
Okay, that's the end of our presentation. Thank you.